Yeah, I'll say it not in a short too, because you can't really hear me because of my phone and because I didn't say everything. So me and Dr. Gita did a study, and really stupid people on a graph that's 3 sections of intelligence. They mimic people. They're not smart. They're just saying what smart people say, and then they try to take the credit, and they're like identity thieves and shit. And they can't prove it. They don't know what they're talking about. They just talk about it. But then they become like mentally ill, and their brain starts to shift, and then they start hitting and raping people and doing that kind of stuff. And then like the next smarter people, they usually have episodes where they're themselves, but the truth is always hidden, and they're always bad, even though they are good, and they fight with themselves, and they kind of have a lot of tension in their brain when they do cocaine. Then it releases, and they almost break their neck trying to be themselves, which is usually good. I mean, like, most people in Canada are pretty damn good. Like, if you're gonna get hurt, it's most likely gonna be from a traveler, and that's the truth. RCMP did a study with me on that too. And then, like, higher intelligent people, they end up not sleeping and talking all the time about all this stuff, and it usually leads to, like, social betterment because 'cause they're talking all the time about all this smart stuff, and they end up not sleeping enough until they fucking die, and, like, worse than me, because mothers talk all the time, literally. A mom will chat your ear off, like, forever and ever and ever, and, like, it seems like the for me, it seems like the humor is endless and that you're never gonna find a piece of me, and then all of a sudden I tell you about my kid and her preschool studies or something. Yeah, we did a study on violence in Canada, and it's usually a traveler hurts somebody and then tries to evade thinking they can escape because like they don't think there's enough radio communication or something, or that somebody would arrest you on a plane or whatever. Plus you can get out of Canada by car. Just a second, need another coffee. And higher intelligent people would naturally just find a way about it to make it, if they're addicted to cocaine by accident and then or did and came to regret it, they would just change their pH, make it a fucking daily thing, and find a medicine that works to help you sleep at a regular time, wake up at a regular time. Like, I know a lot of men They put their sperm in a petri dish, and like some use some solutions that they steal from the hospital or just have. They try to see their sperm fucking how it's doing. It goes slower. Yeah, it does. But what you think is that you see it moving so fast, but that's it dying. Sperm moves really fast when it's dying. But it could also be dying because it's out of the oxygen and all this stuff. And cocaine would make your sperm too hard. And it would most likely lead to a miscarriage in the woman. But there's all kinds of cocaine. Well, there was no like obvious problem. I didn't even have sex with him, but even from kissing him, so not too shabby. Getting laid. He's probably pretty good to just get up and start crying and shaking his head and having a bit of a problem because of the cocaine, what he was trying to say, but he said it anyway. He's just like, I really didn't mean to hurt this girl. Like, he wasn't saying he wanted to be together. He was just saying, well, it's partly my fault too. I just jump over to the next couch. Hey, whatever. Repression. And when you get a migraine, studies have proven that I studied it the most. That when you get a migraine, it's like a vein that goes this way, and then it's some veins, and they're swollen, and it's causing pain because there's pain in the body, and pain lives up to 5 months after an injury or a bruise or whatever. Then when you're out of Tylenol or you're waiting for the Tylenol to kick in, because Tylenol is usually what fixes it, little, like, and it's noisy, these little veins come off of it, and that leads to a bit of an attitude because veins that go off this way are sensing that you're close to being abused, but it's a heightened sense in the first place, so it's not technically abuse. It just triggers you like abuse. And then you talk about the aptitude of attitude. And that varies on the personality, the way they were raised, their body weight, what they're ingesting. Coffee is going to make it way less of like a noticeable problem. Yeah, and high in the aptitude of a migraine would be a bad thing, and low aptitude would be better. But aptitude in the whole brain cell of the whole thing, the higher the better. Cute little freaking cat. You can't even see him. There he is. There he is. Just pick him up. Angels. Hark thy angels. Because he's small and curled up in a ball. It's kind of a big cat, not really. I had a really dry throat last night. Woke up and I was like, oh, it's cold. Trying to get out of the blankets. It's cold. Third time, okay, make coffee right away though. It's way colder out here because of the end that we're on of Nechaka River. There's volcanoes around here. That's why not even that there was in like past tense. There still is. The riverbanks are so high that there's houses that overlook the river, like right, like you look out their window. And there's gravel pits, and they push the gravel up. They fluff all the time. It pushes the gravel up. Like the gravel is ever moving. I hate that line. That's what makes me insecure about wearing fancy clothes. Fancy-ish. And in the brain, on the right side, by your eye, like in that whole socket, is a moron and a boron and a boron. That's a huge list of big words for me, but anyway. The moron sits like this throughout the entire cell. And it's this big, like, cartilage tube that carries a lot of the sound traveling to from your ear on that side. And that's why you feel like you're dominant in one eye, because of the sound traveling on the one side of your head. And the boron is the in between, which is a Kushner and a it's like the stupidest part of your brain. It's called moron. The boron, it brings the fluids to the sound tubes, the boron, and then the moron is the tubes that go this way, and this cell that kind of sits separate. It's still your brain, but it sits kind of separate from like those classic cells that you see. And the moron is what is holding the whole shit show together. So, like, classically, your intelligence will pick up on what the moron is saying is being heard in these tubes and in the cushioning. And it kind of divides, adds, and pluses it, times is all this shit your intelligence does to help you understand what you're hearing. So that's why people have less understanding on like the other graph of where they are. And classically, they're really like piss potty and like rude and abusive. Like the stupider people are, they're actually on a different graph, a different subject, more abusive. So like instead of just hearing it, like Amber's gay, you would like not know what it means compared to somebody who's highly intelligent. Like the dictionary in university is much larger, and you don't get to use it unless you're a top student like myself. And in that dictionary, there's like 6, 7 definitions, and then there's like spiral graphs and saying all the variations of what it could mean, and then it goes off to just be like language could change this, so you have to study language too. Yeah. Like cats and dogs have like 2 of those hearing cells, which makes them stupider because it's 2 to do one thing, plus they can't hear as well. But that's why they think they're so cool when they catch a mouse underground, when we can kind of just hear it, and we even step away from like a mouse hole without even really thinking about it. That's because of the truly inhuman. It's because underneath the boron cell thing, it's a C cell and a D cell, which you should be able to remember that by the fucking D that's underneath your eye, and then there's an F and an E, a G and an H. Then you almost see underground too, with your hearing and your intelligence, and what I say, you're seeing, you're hearing your intelligence. And you'll step away from most all depending on your faith, your religion, your hope, your self esteem. And that's your senses in one aspect. And then underneath your face, your eyes, your frontal lobe, your nose, your mouth, and all the glands underneath, and your ears, right? And your general feeling touch are your six senses. Most people just have four senses. A sixth sense is like before you know a person, you just know they're going to like you. Without understanding what you got on your SATs and your graduate essays, you just understand that you're going to graduate. That's the fifth, more likely. But the sixth is like you just meet this random person on a random day. You know they're going to like you. And you know you're going to meet somebody, but nobody said anything. It's not an appointment. That I had, it was a bear. Yeah. It was abused so badly that its head shrunk. Yeah. They said when his sister, who abused the dog, got it, it looked like a big mastiff with like little tufts of ears like a bear. It was just like an ugly bear. It was already fucked up from the way it was born and everything. Not being in the wild. And then it just get like one of his elbows needed to be fucking amputated. He suffered all the time until he died, fairly young for how old he was. One time I was gonna go snowshoeing down this way instead of going like across the swamp where I generally tell stories of going snowshoeing. And I was like, oh, this is scary. The dogs won't even come with me. I like sat down on the hill just off the lawn. And I was like, and then I was like, I'm just gonna leave. And I was talking because I was worried. I was scared. Like I smelled something or something. And yeah, there was a bear just like looking at me. And it was just looking at me like, oh, she's leaving. Oh, she's leaving. Okay. Okay, she's leaving. It's okay. I won't hurt her. It was so weird. Like, I know I live out way out and it's kind of expected, but it's still not. Because when I went to go leave, that's when I noticed there was actually something there. And your hands do, in fact, hold it's called an F, chef with an S. And it's like right in the center of the whole hand. And it goes all the way through. And it's like the opening to the eye that isn't the eyeball. So yeah, you can kind of like look into your hand or like look into your hand. And you'll see like a glimpse of the truth, or if you're not a truthful person, it'll be like a glimpse of the demise or whatever, right? Yeah. They're connected to your eyeball cells. And the eyeball cells are just an F and a G and an H. The eyes aren't even the smartest thing. That's why a lot of people think they have vision problems when they don't, or completely fucking do. Like, I zone out a lot, but mostly because I have boredom. Yeah, my feet hurt like a bitch. I got swelling and too much water retention. And yeah. Like, I'll just be looking at something and all of a sudden it's like I was looking at nothing at all. That means because the H is the heat, the G is the water, the F is the warmth. Yeah. And I hate myself because I focus so well on everything that Aaron watches, which is like porn, horror movies kind of thing. And I watch it so much. Like it's like it because it's not depicted by exact. It's how you're feeling, right? Like what would be warm? It's by how you're feeling. I'm just like, bitch got hurt. And I watch it all the time, like so intently. And then I'll just like wake up to myself and I'll be like, Amber, you're fucking evil. And then I don't like myself watching these chicks all chained up in cages and shit. They're naked. I'm just like, ha ha ha. It's like a warm feeling. Like Aaron looks like he's crying when he's watching the TV, but he likes the titties, and I think that's his biggest draw. Is that he's just like, those poor titties. That poor girl with nice tits, I should say. Yeah, I just hate myself for how much I don't care. Plus, it's just a movie. There might be real footage. That's why I cracked the joke. Oh, there was like the autopsy videos of our freaking lovers in there. I want this plant like it's half dead. Mom's gonna get me a slip from it. It's a prayer plant, and when you are whispering good, it actually will move more than like the leaves will pop open more. And it was just so cold in here during that 40 below weather, and Mom didn't water it. The pain is moving down my ribs, and then it's gonna leave, I think. It's just weird. I don't know what to say happened, but growing, I guess. Yeah. It was just kind of weird feeling on my ribs, how it's getting lower, the pinch and that like feeling like almost like static through my ribs. There are so many medium-sized people in our country. Yeah, I remember in grade 7, we all had to everybody was waiting to enter the school in the morning because we're locked out at first. If you had to piss, you're in trouble. Anyway, and we had to tell everyone if our ribs hurt and if we're growing and rib, how tall we're gonna get. Most people would well, some lied, obviously, but most of them weren't even growing anymore in grade 7. Grade 7? Little. They sprout up and then stopped. There's lots of child neglect, not very much abuse. I know I was saying that. That's a joke, though. I would have neglected my kid. That's why I fucking devised a plan a long time ago with my income to make sure she's always going to be at least decently okay. I've always been so hyper. And my doctor said to me, it's not like we've seen into a brain of somebody such as yourself. Geniuses are very unique. I would say your hyperactivity gets in the way of your intelligence a lot. I was like, yeah, it's probably why it feels like I have lockjaw. He's like, yeah, probably. Whatever. Drink the brew. Who gives a shit? I'm tired all the time, too. It's stupid. I can wear my cell phone. My dad doesn't even talk. He's a genius. He does, but not enough to, he wouldn't know. You can see his craftsmanship, but usually he's just, doing carpentry, and carpentry isn't pretty. Carpentry isn't, like, he just makes, a shed. Talking about home life, he'll just, build a shed. Well, it's not plumbing, it's not electrical as much. It was always fun when Angry Cops was at the party, though. I haven't had very much fun ever since. I stopped going to parties a long time ago. Because he'd be like, say something smart or something. Because I'd be running through high-fiving everybody. Fucking so hyper when I was younger. Say something smart about, geology. The sign of the rhinestone is exactly what made us our fucking silver dollar. Or something. Right. Break the ice. I'm just gonna turn on the TV and have a solemn moment. I mean, silent moment.